is it? And the children of Yasharel saw, and they said to each other, what is it? For they did not know what it was. And Moshe said to them, it is the bread which Yahuwah has given to you to eat. This is the word which Yahuwah has commanded. Let every man gather it according to each one's need, an omer for each being, according to the number of beings. Let every man take for those who are in his tent. And the children of Yasharel did so, and gathered, some more, some less. And they measured it by omers. And he who gathered much did not have too much, and he who gathered little did not have too little. Each one gathered according to his need. And Moshe said, let no one leave any of it until morning. And they did not listen to Moshe. Figures. So some of them left part of it until morning, and it bred worms and stank. And Moshe was wroth with them. And they gathered it every morning, each one according to his need. And when the sun became hot, it melted. And it came to be on the sixth day, they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for each one. And all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moshe. And he said to them, this is what Yahuwah has said. Tomorrow is a rest, a Shabbat, Kodesh to Yahuwah. That which you bake, bake, and that which you cook, cook, and lay up for yourselves all that is left over to keep it until morning. And they laid it up till morning, as Moshe commanded, and it did not stink, and no worm was in it. And Moshe said,
They said, eat
eat
it
today,
today,
for
for
today
today
is
is
Shabbat
the Shabbat to
to
Yahuwah.
Yahuwah. Today
Today
you
you
do
do
not
not
find it
find it
in
in
the
the
field.
field.
Gather it
Gather
6 days,
6 days,
but
but
on
on
the
the
seventh
seventh day,
day, which is
which
the
is the
Shabbat,
Shabbat,
there
there
is
will be
none.
none. And
And
it
it
came to
came to
pass,
be that some of the people
people went out
went
on the
out on the seventh day
seventh day to
to
gather.
gather, but they
They
found
went
none.
none.
And
And
Yahuwah said
Yahuwah
to
said to
Moshe,
Masha, how
how
long
should
shall
how
you
long shall you refuse to guard my
my
command
commands
and my
and my
law?
son named
See,
Torah?
see, because Yahuwah has given you the Shabbat. Therefore, he is giving you bread for 2 days on the sixth day.
Mhm.
Let each one stay in his place. Do not let anyone go out of his place on the seventh day. So the people rested on the seventh day. And the house of Yasharel called its name manna, and it was like white coriander seed, and the taste of it was like a thin cakes made with honey. And
Mhm.
Moshe said, this is the word which Elohim, which Yahuwah has commanded. Fill an omer with it to keep for your generations, so that they see the bread which with which I fed you in the wilderness. And when I brought you out of the land of Mishraim, and
Yeah, Mishraim, which is son named
Mizraim, which
Egypt,
is Zion, which is sign name is Egypt. And Moshe said to Aaron, take a pot and put an omer of manna in it, and put it down before Yahuwah to keep for your generations. As
as Yahuwah
Yahuwah
commanded
commanded
Moshe
Moshe,
to Aaron
so Aaron,
to
put
put it
it
down
down before
and
the
the
witness
witness and
to
to
keep.
keep
And
the
the children
children
of
of
Yasharel
Yasharel
ate
manna
manna 40
40
years
years
until
until
they
they
came
came
to
and
an inhabited
inhabited.
land.
They ate
They ate manna
manna
until
until
they
they
came
came
to the
to
border
the
of the land,
borderland of Canaan,
Canaan,
which is son named
Canaan.
Canaan. Yeah, okay. So today, we're talking about today. Your hope is compromised by distractions discussion. that when your hope is compromised by distractions, discussion.
Mm.
So, as you know, we are in the 40 something days since this government has been shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't see no end to this. And we see that people are hungry, they're distracted
Mm-hmm.
because they're hungry. They have stomach growlings. There's no money coming in the EBT accounts,
Mm-hmm.
and SNAP is pretty much frozen because it's a federal thing.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, I'm not on SNAP or get EBT. At one time, many moons ago, I tried to, but the organization said, Mr. Houston, we're gonna have to deny your claim for
Mm-hmm.
future benefits. Now I got the 30 days, $138, but they sent a letter and said I'm uneligible to maintain SNAP benefits. And I was like, wow, I wasn't homeless. I had just got unemployed because the towers had just failed,
Mm.
and I had to feed myself and the person I was married to almost 20 some years ago.
Mm.
But however, the government said, no, you're ineligible to have benefits. So, like, okay, so I never applied ever again because when I made too much, or whatever the case was. So I never applied ever again. But I know people who have applied to SNAP benefits and got the 30-day emergency giftings that they give you subsidized, and then they were further on SNAP benefits. So
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, so I couldn't get it. So all right, it's cool. So due to entire government shutdown, due to the fighting of the U.S. Capitol between the Bloods and the Crips of elected government officials playing games with livelihood with Americans, no coming paychecks, no federal employees working for
Mm.
free. Their rent and their mortgages is behind starting this month in November. The
Mm-hmm.
issue is that I am upset that we got children left behind that are hungry and elderly people, and we have disabled. We have disabled people like myself. We have military enlisted or veterans families, and then there is no money because I found out that what happened was that military enlisted people wasn't making enough to feed their families, so they applied for government subsidies, which is EBT and SNAP,
Mm-hmm.
and that is frozen, so they can't get a paycheck, and then they can't get money to feed their family.
Mm.
Now, I'm gonna say this. Let me think about when I say this. Here, when I say this. Now, if we knew that was going on, we as Americans need to budget our money accordingly. You need to get you a financial counselor. If you have some financial difficulty, find you a financial counselor that can help you maintain and have money. Now, I'm in NYC, the five boroughs, and they did a segment into the poorest borough in that I was born and raised in was the South Bronx.
Mm.
And people this color will ask questions. How are you surviving with
Mm.
no government assistance?
Mm-hmm.
They said I always needed my fundings to be in my account on a certain day, and
Mm-hmm.
a few people showed them their they get the app on their smartphones, and then they turn around. One guy had a balance of 67 cents.
Mm.
Then another person had a balance of $1 and some change,
Mm.
and they upset and they're crying.
Mm.
because this administration decided we're gonna put this in the beautiful big bill,
Mm.
and then we're gonna allow Americans to starve.
Mhm.
Where
Mhm.
we do that at? Only
Mhm.
in this country.
Mhm.
So we got enlisted people and their families. We
Mhm.
got workers who can't work that's in the federal government,
Mhm.
can't get a paycheck. We got planes running in the planes.
Mm.
Yeah, we got we got TSA, we got air
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 traffic control.
controllers and the towers that are not getting paycheck. This is the second paycheck they're not getting on a Tuesday, and
Mm.
then most of them are calling in sick. I'm
Mhm.
not coming to work. I'm sick. That
Mhm.
makes sense. I'm sick. I'm not getting.
Mhm.
I can't get no medication. I can't
Mhm.
afford it right now, so I'm gonna call in. So now you stretching the ones that are working for free
Mm.
extra hours, and then they're getting paid for it. They're
Mhm.
getting a thank you for your service, pat on the back.
Mhm.
Okay, so they're hungry, and we got the Bloods and the Crips. I'm talking about the Republican Party and the Democrat Party. They're fighting over Obamacare,
Mm.
ACA,
Mm.
because the Democrats on the Crip side wants to make sure that families in this country are not getting taken a ride for affordable health insurance, that their premiums should not go up. But the Crips, aka the Republican Party, y'all feel me? They decided we're gonna put this in this big, beautiful bill that they passed in the House and in the Senate, and then they turn around, had the president sign it into law, and that law became a what was that? Oh, OB3. It's the big beautiful bill at O as in Oscar, B as in Bravo, the number three. One side of the aisle called the Crips, Democrats, wanted an extension on the on American Cares Act, and the other wants premium costs to go up. They trying to sabotage American people,
Mm.
because we need our health insurance. We're the only country in the world that has a high premium, and you
Mm.
got a high premium to copay and insurance. And when your
Mm.
insurance drops you, how are you going to survive? Let me tell you something. When I was working before I got sick back in 2025, during COVID, I had a brain stroke. I should have been unalive that day.
Mhm.
But Yahuwah said, no, not today. You're still here. So I had insurance. I had Empire Blue Cross and Blue Shield insurance.
Mhm.
Then they paid for my stay in the hospital. They paid for my stay in a nursing facility, rehab facility in White Plains. Then that ended. Then I had to transfer me to a civilian nursing facility in the Bronx, and I was there not even 3 days. I get a phone call from my father and from my sister, and one of my children said, "Oh, your insurance canceled. They
Mhm.
dropped you." I'm like, "How? I paid into Empire Blue Cross and Blue Shield, and
Mhm.
they dropped me." So then I had to apply for emergency Medicaid
Mhm.
to stay in a nursing facility that's going to cost me $536 per day.
Mhm.
And then I had to have occupational training, and I had to have physical therapy. If you
Mhm.
can see my hand is still cuffed. I'm still today. I left the civilian nursing home, went into a veteran nursing facility, the rehab for PT and OT, and then I was okay. because the government, since I'm a veteran, was taking care of me.
Mm-hmm.
So now that I'm married, I'm on my wife's insurance. And then on top of that, her premium may go up because I'm on her plan. I had to drop Medicaid. I can't have both. I wish I could. I'd just be like, but I still go to the VA hospital here in the five boroughs, NYC.
Mm-hmm.
Then I turn around, had to go to a private doctor, and I have insurance that comes out her check. And then is a co-payment. So be smart and be wise. I have a good issue. My wife, we decided we're going to save money the best way we can. We didn't need a financial counsel. We're both educated. We both hold earned doctorate degrees. But we had to determine how we're going to eat and keep a roof over our head, people. The problem I seen in the South Bronx, that the borough that I love so much, my people are struggling. And I know ministries, I know kahals, I know assemblies are trying to feed people. But
Mm-hmm.
then you turn around, that the administration told supermarkets and supermarkets and grocery stores, the ones that don't SNAP, don't make no concessions from them. Don't help them out. Don't. And that's crazy. They don't know how they're going to feed people, and people don't know how they're going to feed people. So it's up to the churches, the kahals, the temples, the synagogues, or
Mm-hmm.
the masjids to go out and serve your congregation, your kahal, your
Mm-hmm.
assembly, and your
Your
neighborhood.
community. Your
So
community.
now we have to time for the church, the people of the Most High Yahuwah Elohim, to stand up and be servants. And then I challenge, hear me now when I say I challenge every pastor that I know in this country, especially the ones in the Bronx of
Mm-hmm.
NYC, to don't take any tithes. Don't take any tithes. The only tithe you need to take is people bringing in food, non-perishable goods to help feed the people that's in your surrounding area. I'm gonna say it again so the people in the back all hear me all the way to Albany when I say this. Pastors, do not take any tithes. Do not collect any tithes. You have enough money. You should have your trustees how to budget to keep your lights on and your AC on or your heater on, but have your congregation bring in perishable goods to feed your people. And then if you can't afford a roof over your head and feed your own family, it's time for you to go get a job and stop relying on your congregation paying your bills, paying the car that you're driving. Yeah, and I'm saying it with my whole chest. Yeah, Yahuwah over everything. It's Yahuwah over everything. So then here we have this administration. We have the taco. Trump always changing, uh, chickening out. He's always changing and doing something. It does not make sense. You got people starving. You got people voting for you, and then you turn around and then you do this to the American people. Let that make sense. So
Mm-hmm.
you still got the Bloods and still the Crips finger pointing at one another. I'm down with all the fighting. I'm in the Congressperson Hakeem Jeffries and Senator Chuck Schumer handle your business the best way you can handle your business because we New Yorkers, we're going to handle our business. The ones that are Gen X like me, we know how to survive because our parents went through it. And we got that big block of cheese called government cheese. We
Mm-hmm.
got them, we got that piece of paper. We got them the WIC vouchers, and we got it wasn't whole milk. We got carnation milk.
Island milk.
Ordering cereal, and you had to add water to it to eat
Yeah,
it.
that's
Yeah,
right.
that's how we survive. These kids don't know how to survive stuff like that. But you know what? They're gonna learn today. They're
Mm-hmm.
gonna learn
Hello.
today.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. They're trying to peel everything. They fighting across the aisle. How long this is gonna happen? I don't know. It's hurting American citizens. The other side to keep health care average for affordable for American people. So this big beautiful act is cutting funding to EBT SNAP benefits and millions of Americans that are complaining. They are complaining that they're hungry. They're complaining we have no money in our account to take care of ourselves. This is where
Mm-hmm.
we at. So just like the Israelites, the Yehudim Israelites, when they left Egypt, went into the wilderness and they had Yahuwah and they complained, you took us out of you took us out of Mishram, which is the name Egypt. Then you put us in the wilderness, only supposed to be an 11-day journey, turned around to be 40 years. And Yahuwah heard the complaining and fed his people manna, fed them manna daily, and told them, if you take the manna that I give you, collect it for 6 days, and on the seventh day, our turnaround is my day of rest. Get all you need to feed your household for 6 days. So we had camps that had families under tent, like we just had Sukkot, Sukkot, getting manna, and they got quail. And what they do, they complain because you know we gather so much, and then we get quail at night, and we get manna, look like a calendar. We get this, and then we have to eat it all. We can't keep none overnight. And I'm a big guy. You can look at me. I'm a big guy. I have a family I have to feed. If I was there, I'm like, we gotta eat all this. I got children that can eat more than me. I got an issue and a daughter that eat like birds. I only eating so little, so I had to gather enough for 6 days. And on the seventh day, I couldn't go out and get any because there was none to be got. Because Yahuwah said on the seventh day, you rest. And the Shabbat was made for man. We still today still observe the Shabbat or the Sabbath. Since they are working on the seventh day of day of rest. Not sleep, you can rest. There's no 12-hour work. There's no work nowhere. But people are distracted because they got headaches, they got hunger pains. They don't got no money on the EBT card, and they trying to figure out now I can't eat. How am I trying to keep my lights on and you cut my welfare? Mm.
Mm.
Let that sink in.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, the Israelites got stupid when they were in Egypt all the time. They were fed on a daily basis. They had a roof over their head. They had a good water to drink. You put me into the wilderness, then the water tastes bitter, and then Moses had to put his staff in the water to change the water to make the water sweet so the ones can drink it and be satisfied. But them stiff neck complaining people still complain and they had Yahuwah. Just like today, you have a Yahuwah, sign name God. You know Yahusha, sign name Jesus. And then you still complain about things. If y'all gonna stop complaining, we won't have these problems. If you take the time just to keep the faith. Now, my faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Keep the faith. How you keep the faith and you praying because faith without works is dead. Let me see you with scriptures, y'all. That's from the Brihadash scriptures, faith without works is dead. Now, my faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. We should not be like the complaining Yahudim people in the Bible. You know, they were stiff necked, they were hard headed, they were stubborn, do what they want to do. That's how they were always disobedient. And then Yahuwah told Masha, same name, Moses, how long are these people going to disrespect me? Mm. How long are these people going to disrespect me? And I know some people don't like that Tanakh type of Old Testament type of Yahuwah type of God because he was angry. He just put the smack down and folk were unalive just for disobedient right there on the spot. But we thank Yahuwah for his son, Yahusha, that when Yahusha died on that stake and Yahuwah seen that blood, then sin was no longer part, and that Yahusha is the mediator to Yahuwah, then operating on our behalf. If this was today and we're complaining, a lot of us would not be here. That's just real talk. We wouldn't be here. But these you who deem people complaint. They complained about the manna. They complained about the quail. They complain. Just like Negroes today complaining. I ain't got no money in my account. Complaining. I don't know how I'm gonna survive. Complaining. If y'all don't get you some counseling and sit down and write out your bills and take some time to do what you need to do, then you will have more than 68 cents when they give you a snap. You have more than $1 and some change. You will have money just to survive. Because if you budget, people, you have to budget. You have to budget. You said he gives the people in the front. You can tell the people in the back, like the wave. You have to budget. Now's the time to budget, but we're being compromised with hunger pains. We're getting compromised because I got headache. We're being compromised because we listen to stuff on social media and TV, and we're not listening to the set man that Yahuwah has given us to tell us to not to fast, but to learn how to budget your money. We got to stop being compromised, people, because it is crazy that we allow the government to distract us on what they want to do. So you know it's two classes. It's the rich and it's the poor. And a lot of us gonna fall on the poor side. Mm.
Mm.
Now, poor, because when we were younger, my Gen X people, you know how it was. Mama and them, hey, did the best they could.
Amen.
The best they could. They didn't have the EBT card. They had the booklet of stamps. They had $1 to $20, and a book was $100, $150. It depended on how it was. The money was portioned inside that book. And people like me at a young age, and some of you guys we were embarrassed to go to the bodega, go to the supermarket, because we may see our friends there and we got to pull out a book of food stamps. Because you had a $150 book, you had to make sure you had to bring the book because certain stores would not take loose currency of paper of food stamps. But we were embarrassed to go out because we were poor, like everybody else. Everybody else in the Bronx was poor. Turn around, you had to go to the store, to the bodega, and accept the food stamps. So now they got slick in the late 90s, early 2000s. They give EBT cards. I can't even get one, like I said earlier, but you can swipe. Put money account, you can swipe. And you were able to pay for your groceries tax free. But then this administration, Taco and them said, don't be making the concessions. Don't be making no deals with people at EBT. If that, we're going to cut your funding off. And as a store owner, how are they supposed to survive? Because they have to follow the rules. And Yahuwah told the Yehudim people, gather on the sixth day, and on the seventh day be a day of rest. But some knuckleheads, some foolish people decided, with my distractions, I'm gonna go out on the seventh day and see if I can get some more manna. No, it was gone. One first time they were told, don't keep it overnight. It stank and it had maggots in it. Disobedience. Number two, on the dew, when the sun came out, it melted. That coriander melted. And you out there trying to get it, put it in the oven, trying to measure it, trying to get for your household for 6 days. Get enough for 6 days, and you turn around and sneak out, and through an all-knowing Yahuwah, you sneak out and you try to get some more. And you're trying to be slick out here in the streets with your EBT card, and the government shuts it down.
Yeah.
Let that make sense, people. So, no concessions for nobody. But Yahuwah, thank God Yahuwah has our back.
Yes.
He hates to see his people poor. It doesn't matter what your sexual orientation is. It doesn't matter what the color of your melanin is. It doesn't care what your tax status is. He does not care. He wants his people to get fed, and he's going to open up a floodgate and pour out a Baruch, sounding blessing for people to eat, because we will always have the poor, but we need these churches to stand up. You discolored church, you got members in your churches on EBT and SNAP. You're going to have to help them, get them something to eat. That's why I charge you. Don't take any tithes. Don't collect any tithes. You should have enough money in your account to pay your bills. If you can't pay, keep your lights on or the heat on in the wintertime, shut your doors. Do what we did during COVID. Get on Zoom. But feed your congregation, feed your community. Pastors, bishops, and apostles throughout this country. I am really charging the ones in the 5 boroughs of NYC to do that, because they're going to count on the church. I know you got soup kitchens and they can go to pantries and get food, but when that runs out, what's going to happen? Ain't nobody going. Everyone's going to be hungry, going to be starving. They're going to be in these streets doing foolish stuff. And if you are a child of the Most High Yahuwah and you break a commandment, thou shalt not steal. That's a commandment. Don't do it, because on their judgment, you're going to find yourself being accountable for the action. Think about it. I'm hungry. I'm distracted. I need to go out and get something, but I ain't got no money. I'm going to have to go knock somebody. No. That is stealing. You break a commandment. The commandments ain't dead, people. They still are functional to the day that Yahusha comes to the earth or till you die. Don't break no commandments. Distraction, you hungry, set your bills straight. Get some financial counseling. Work some things out. Go to the pantry. Don't be ashamed going to the pantry. Go to the storehouse. Go to the churches and ask for food, because they're going to be out giving food throughout all the boroughs and throughout all the countries. Cities in this country, in this state, Salakia. Do that, and then the people will stay satisfied. They will have to be in compromise on their thought process
Mm-hmm.
or hunger pains or I need food so I can take medication.
Mm-hmm.
We need food to take medication. If you're a Gen X like me, you know how it is to be poor. My issue says we wasn't poor, we was poor. And a lot of us today, not including me, I'm blessed because I'm Baruch because I have a good wife that works and I get benefits from being a veteran and also being disabled. Until that dries up, if it ever dries up, we got money set aside to take care of our bills. Because my father told me when I was growing up, when I was smelling myself, if you get a job, your first thing should be keeping a roof over your head. Now that went in one ear and out the other ear because when them towers fell in 2001, I found myself unemployed, couldn't get any benefits. I found myself in Bellevue Men's Shelter until I found work. I was only there for 3 days, and they were amazed. You know who God I served? That I serve. I'm not gonna be in this men's shelter because I was embarrassed. Embarrassing is being in a men's shelter and you're a grown man and you got children. You in the shelter because you can't take responsibility. Like I said, real talk, y'all. In one ear, out the other ear. I allowed my selfishness compromise what my decisions were supposed to be. That my father told me keep a roof over your head at all times. So he told me. Then we turn around and find yourselves out here in these streets because the government is playing games. They ain't trying. I know the Democrats, the Crips, are trying to do the best thing they can. So we're gonna pull out. We're gonna pray for them that this thing ends and we still, if it ends, we don't slow pump the brakes on feeding our community and our kahals, our assemblies, our gatherings. We continue feeding because you never know the games that this administration or this Congress or the Senate is going to play, people. So they stop the everybody, everything's back to hunky dory, then you do not stop being servants. You don't stop being servants. I'm about to end this right now. That
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna quote one of my favorite pastors, the Reverend Doctor Wright, and he said, and I quote him, Jeremiah Wright, and I quote him that America is still the number one killer in the world. And that's all I have for you today. Bahashem
Mm.
Yahuwah, Basha Baruch you too.
Thank you, Pastor Houston, for that message. Does anyone have any? Do you have any questions or want to have any discussion about what has been said or what is happening maybe in your household, in your state that you would like to share?
I thought camera's supposed to be on. I'm gonna start booting people. We're gonna start booting people out. All cameras
Hey,
on, please. Hey, that's one. Valerie,
Valerie, your
take your
camera,
camera
can
on
your
real
camera
quick,
be
real quick,
on?
real quick. You know we're gonna boot you guys out. This is something
So,
starting. We're gonna make sure y'all ain't over there sleeping and y'all paying attention. And nobody had no precepts.
well, the only precept I had, but you talked about it, was in John 6:25 to 30, in which they said, when they found him on the other side of the sea, they said to him, Rabbi, when did you come here? And Yahusha answered them, truly, truly, I say to you, you are seeking me, not because you saw signs, but because you ate your fill of loaves. Do not work for the food that perishes, but for the food that endures to eternal life, which the Son of Man will give to you. For on him Yahuwah the Father has set his seal. Then they said to him, what must we do to be doing the works of Yahuwah? Yahusha answered them, this is the work of Yahuwah, that you believe in him whom he has sent. So they said to him, then what sign do that we must see and believe? What work do you perform? Our fathers ate the manna in the wilderness, as it was written, he gave them bread from heaven to eat. Yahusha then said to them, truly, truly, I say to you, it was not Moshe who gave you the bread from heaven, but my Father gives you the true bread from heaven. For the bread of Yahuwah is he who comes down from heaven and gives life to the world. They said to him, Sir, give us this bread always. Yahushua said to them, I am the bread of life. Whom comes to me shall not hunger, and whoever believes in me shall never thirst. But I said to you that you have seen me and yet do not believe. All that the Father gives me will come to me, and whoever comes to me I will never cast out. For I come down from heaven not to do my will, but the will of him who sent me. And this is the will of him who sent me, that I should lose nothing of all that he has given me, but raise it up on the last day. For this is the will of my Father, that everyone who looks on the Son, believes in him, should have eternal life, and will raise him up on the last day.
Mm.
So, as you were saying that, you know, when you think of the Old Testament to the New Testament and you think of it as a prophecy, the fact of the manna that Yahuwah gave to the Israelites was almost like a prophecy of what then became Yahusha, because Yahusha is our eternal bread of life. He is the one that when we have him, we do not hunger anymore. Unlike the bread that Yahuwah gave that fed their physical being, Yahusha, who is just Yahuwah in physical form, has given us eternal bread that we will not be hungry again.
So hold on for a second. So Yahuwah is Yahusha in the flesh.
Yes.
Okay. I want everybody to get that. Everyone in agreement? Raise your hand if you agree with that. Yahuwah is Yahusha in the flesh.
Yes.
That's God and
Yes.
Jesus.
Yes.
All right. So
Mhm.
don't get it confused when people say something else. Long as you
Mhm.
know that Yahuwah is name of salvation and that Yahusha is a mediator to salvation.
Mhm.
But we cleared that up because a lot of people don't understand that Yahuwah is Yahusha in the flesh.
In the flesh, yes.
Okay.
So in reality, then Yahuwah gave us bread twice. He
Mm-hmm.
gave you a physical manna that he brought down every morning for the Israelite who was crying about being hungry in the wilderness. And then in the New Testament, he gave you an eternal kind of bread. He gave you himself. He came down himself and fed us and told us that if you take of my bread, then you will
Mm-hmm.
never be hungry again. Your spirit will never be hungry again. And so, as our pastor was talking about with this whole thing of the shutdown, is that we have to understand that Yahuwah will provide. He will provide. He will provide for you physically, because if you have seen it today, a lot of community organizations and a lot of the things in the community, which I've tried to send out throughout Brooklyn and the Bronx, are opening their doors and trying to make sure that children does not go to school hungry. And so that's Yahuwah, because these people do not have to do it. Like, in all reality, no one has to do it. But as a part of a community, you have to understand that we are responsible for each other. And as people of Yahuwah, you also have to feel the need that we all are responsible for each other, to make sure that none of our children goes to school hungry, and no person goes to school hungry or goes to work hungry. There's no profit in this. You know what I mean? That's the thing that, as our pastor was talking about with the Bloods and the Crips, I don't know what profit they feel like they're gaining by just extending this shutdown out to 40 something days. I mean, there's no profit in this, but for some reason we are still on the shutdown and it's just getting worse and worse. So we just have to realize that all of us can do something. If it's nothing but volunteering at a pantry, if it's nothing but if you have food in your house and you may think your neighbor doesn't have food because they may have children, or if they're elderly, or if they're disabled, taking them to the store with you and buying them something, like we all can do something. So we'll know that we are trying to be a part of be a part of the solution and be a part of something that people will understand that Yahuwah is still here giving his eternal bread to us. So
Right. And I'm glad you, Salakia, I'm glad you said that because, this Kahal is everywhere. We have Detroit, we have
mhm,
Philly, we have Atlanta, and I know Q is gonna if Q needs some assistance, she can
mhm,
call us and we can try to help for them. Same thing with Cigna, since she's
mhm,
down in Philly, and
mhm.
we have was it Chantel? I think she's in Atlanta or she's in Alabama.
Mhm.
So they need assistance. We can provide as much as we can so we can help somebody. Like Dr. MPH said, if you know of a mom over here shouting. If you know a pantry, just go and serve.
Just go and
Just
serve.
serve. You ain't gotta say just serve.
Mhm.
Serve with a smile. That's
That's
it.
it.
May Baruch you,
Mhm.
bless you, and,
Mhm.
and, and go in peace. If they might need prayer, y'all know how to equip, you know how to
That's
pray.
it.
Even the long prayers, just encourage them that
Mhm.
they are satisfied because we have the bread of life.
Yes. Yes.
Y'all
Yes.
missed that when I said that. Y'all supposed to
No,
stop when I
no,
said that.
we didn't miss
We
it.
have the bread of life.
Amen.
We have the bread of life.
Yes, we do.
Yahudim people didn't have the bread of life. They had Yahuwah. He
Yeah.
grew up with them, so they still had him.
Mm-hmm.
Not knowing he was in the same tent, just like they were in
Mm-hmm.
for 40 years. He dwelt in the tent.
That's right.
So, and he provided food for them. They
Mm-hmm.
had the bread of life. We have the bread of life.
And
So across
yes,
the board,
yes.
we're good. We're Tabah, y'all. We are actually good.
Yes.
So anything else before okay. Let me shut
All
this down.
right, so
Hold
let's
on, hold on, hold on.